Here from the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. How cool is this? It is an honor to welcome in Leonard Ellerbe. You know him. You saw him at the press conference on Wednesday. Surely you have seen him by Floyd Mayweather's side for the last 2+ decades, and now he is joining us on the phone. Leonard, how are you?
Hey, what's happening, Art?
Hey, this is such a great honor for us. Thank you so much for doing it. I don't know if you heard Audie right before you came on, but he just predicted a stoppage for Conor McGregor. When you hear that, you've seen all of Floyd's fights, 49-0, greatest defensive boxer of all time, arguably the greatest ever, period. Do you laugh at that? Does that sound absurd to you?
No, I don't laugh. I mean, he's supposed to say that. One thing about it, he has a very good fighter that he's working with, and we all know what Floyd's bringing to the table. So, at the end of the day, you can never take any guy light. As we've always seen in boxing, there's upsets, but I'm expecting Floyd to be the same old Floyd, to go out there and handle his business.
When did you guys start to seriously look at this fight as a viable option, start to sit down and say, okay, what do we have to do to get it done? When do we want to get it done? Do we want to get this done? When do you recall that actually coming into place?
There's really no specific timetable. To be totally honest, it's the fans. The fans have demanded this fight by, actually through social media with all the back and forth, and the whole idea and concept of those two being in the boxing ring has really excited, millions of people. And I think that's how this all kicked off. And, with both guys kind of going back and forth, it's elevated. And here we are come August the 26th, we have a massive, massive event.
Did you guys want to go on August the 26th to beat Triple G Canelo to the pay-per-view punch?
No, Canelo and anybody else who were looking to fight around that time, none of that was taken into consideration. This fight is a standalone fight, and we could have done this at any particular time. It's just that August 26th fits the perfect timing for what we're trying to get accomplished.
Which is what?
Is to have the biggest event ever.
Okay. And so when you say that, that means that you do believe this will sell more pay-per-views than the Pacquiao fight, right? 4 million?
That is definitely the plan. We all parties involved, we see this as a major, major, major event. We'll be seen not only internationally, which we're expecting for records to be breaking all across the board in the United States and internationally. It's just, again, it's a massive, massive event.
If Conor wasn't a thing, if he wasn't here, if he wasn't doing as well as he's doing, if he wasn't chirping, do you believe that Floyd would have remained retired, or do you think that he would have eventually come back to try to go 50-0?
No, this is all Floyd is doing.
This is it.
He hadn't thought of anything else other than fighting Conor McGregor. That's the only thing that has piqued his interest.
From your perspective, the timeline that we were told from the UFC perspective was they had to get a deal done with Conor. Once they got that done, they came to you guys. And that was only just a couple of weeks ago that Dana announced on TNT that he had got it done with Conor. Is that how it worked from your perspective, or were you guys talking long before they got the deal done with Conor as well?
No, that's exactly what happened. I mean, realistically, how can you approach making a deal if you don't have your side under control? And Dana's done a tremendous job, and Ari's done a tremendous job with, getting that done.
There was some talk that Dana wasn't involved in the negotiations, and he seemed to have taken umbrage with that and said that, no, that wasn't true. Could you tell us if he was involved in the negotiations?
Of course he was involved. That's just silly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just silly for somebody to even just say. That just goes to show you when people don't have the details, they just speculate.
Right.
Dana's been out front of this thing from the word go, and he's done a phenomenal job with getting that side done.
So when Dana was at that basketball game, the Eastern Conference Finals, announced that he had just gotten the deal done with Conor and was about to focus on your side. Like I said, that was, just a few weeks ago. So does that mean that this took just a few weeks to get done?
Yes, you would be absolutely correct.
Does that shock you, considering in the past, your history in the sport, of course, the Pacquiao negotiations that took so long? In hindsight now, are you shocked that this was as easy as it was?
Well, actually, I'm not, because, the overall concept was to obviously get this deal done. And when you're working with smart people and they have a very, very smart team, the upper level management, all great businessmen, Dana's a great businessman. So overall, when you look at it from the big scope of things, when you're working within the confounds of trying to get a deal done as opposed to not trying to get a deal done, it always works.
Did you guys have the ability to shop this fight around, or if it was going to happen, did it have to happen on Showtime?
Shop it around? What do you mean?
I obviously don't know the terms of Floyd's contract. In other words, could you have done this on your own, or with an HBO, or with another network, or if Floyd was going to come back to fight, regardless of the opponent, it had to be on Showtime?
We rolling with Showtime.
Okay.
Showtime, number one network in the world, and that's who we rolling with, and it's been that way. When Floyd Mayweather decided to make that move, we formed a partnership, and we walked side by side. Showtime is number one in the whole world, and they've proved that with the programming that they've been able to come up with and to execute, over a long period of time. I mean, you look at all the fights that they have that they've done recently, and the upcoming program that they have on their plate. They continue to put on these big events, and they're the best network that's out there.
Do you know how much the pay-per-view will cost yet?
No, I don't. Those details will be forthcoming. Obviously, with a deal and a fight of this magnitude, there's so many factors that are involved, and all those details will be forthcoming.
Would it be fair to say that it would be closer to the price of Mayweather-Pacquiao than your regular pay-per-view?
Again.
Okay.
All those details will be forthcoming, and we're working through those things as we speak.
How about the rest of the card? Is that on Mayweather Promotions to put together? Are you guys doing that exclusively by yourself?
Yes, we are, and we're going to have a phenomenal undercard. I can guarantee you that.
Can you break any news for us? Can you give us any hints as to who will be competing?
No, I sure can't. These things take time, and when we get ready to roll this thing out, everyone will be impressed. Okay,
and how about the actual details of the fight? 154, 12 rounds. The size of the gloves, all that stuff. Were there any sticking points here, or did you guys get everything that you wanted?
No, I think both sides were able to walk away from this deal, and everyone was happy. There was nothing contentious at all.
Who is the A side?
I think you know that. That goes without. Floyd Mayweather's the A side in any and everything that he does.
So he will be walking out second.
Well, again, you heard what I just said.
Okay, fair enough.
Floyd Mayweather's the A side. There's no secret to that. To what Floyd has accomplished in his career. He's been the biggest star in boxing for quite some time, and he's been arguably the biggest star in all of sports.
How about the split? Initially, Floyd was saying, I'll take 100, you get 7. And then there was some contention there. Could you, not the amount of money, but is it like a 60-40 split, a 50-50? Could you tell us how it's broken down?
Again, all the details are confidential, and, we'll leave it at that.
Okay, so it's going to remain that way.
Both sides, and they will remain that way. Both sides walked away from this deal very happy.
Mm-hmm. And how about like a world tour? We've seen this before in boxing and MMA. Are you guys interested in doing something like that? Or, I mean, the fight is, just a little over 2 months away. Is there just not enough time to do something like that?
Yeah, we're planning a tour.
Okay.
And again, those details will be forthcoming.
What do you say, Leonard, to the boxing purists? Because I've been consuming a lot of their media. I mean, I cover MMA, but I'm a big boxing fan, and I've been listening to them, and I hear the big names, you know who they are, who say that this is a sham, that this shouldn't happen, that, you know, you can't be 50-0 winning a fight like this against a guy who's 0-0. Why is Floyd doing this? His legacy, all that stuff and more. What do you say to these critics who are kind of throwing these bombs towards Floyd?
I don't say anything to the critics. I let them do. They have a platform to do what they do. We worry about things that we can control. And things that we can control, that's what we focus on. Anytime you get to worrying about the things, the naysayers, Floyd Mayweather has been very successful in his career with those type of people all of his career. He's become the highest earner ever in the history of sport, and it's because of the naysayers and the critics as a part of what they got to do. And it's just a part of, you know, we can never worry about what people say. No one's forced to buy the event. But we know we have a mega event, and we're going to roll this thing out in August the 26th. We're going to have one heck of a card.
Do you know if, I mean, we just spoke to Audie Attar, who's Conor's agent. He said that as far as sponsorship is concerned, it's a blank slate. They're fielding offers. Could you tell us about Floyd's side of the equation? Does he have a main sponsor, a clothing apparel? Like, what will he be wearing on his shorts? Who will be backing him as far as sponsorship goes going into this mega fight?
Again, all those details will be forthcoming. You know, is there really not much that we have other than just announcing this mega fight?
Yeah.
You know, there's still all these details that we're working through, and we'll be able to roll this thing out.
What are you looking forward to the most as far as the buildup is concerned?
I'm really looking forward to August 26th. It's going to be a terrific promotion. We know what Conor McGregor's bringing to the table, and we know what Floyd Mayweather's bringing to the table. And again, the fans are going to be the winners.
And are you interested at all in bringing in some people from the MMA world to compete on the undercard, or do you think it will be 100% pure boxers?
This will be 100% pure boxers on the show.
Do you know if the undercard will air on some sort of free, you know, I don't know, a CBS or a free Showtime to build up?
I cut you off. Not cutting you off.
No.
When it's time to deliver, we're gonna do what we need to do, and we're gonna have a fantastic undercard, and the main event. It speaks for itself. Mayweather versus McGregor. Tune in August the 26th, Showtime pay-per-view.
That's right. All right. Well, I look forward to it, Leonard. I really appreciate the time. Congrats on getting the deal done. And hopefully we could talk to Floyd about this as well. I think a lot of people are very curious to hear what he has to say, obviously. And I think it's going to be a fun ride. I'm looking forward to it. So kudos to you guys. Enjoy the ride. And, of course, good luck on the 26th of August.
And I'd like to say thank you for having me on, and continue to do what you're doing. You have one heck of a following, and you're giving the fans exactly what they want. Keep up the good work.
Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you, Leonard. I really appreciate that. Looking forward to meeting you as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, there he is, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions,